Arsenal Invincible, Sol Campbell, thank you very much for joining us here at talkSPORT Towers. Doing a lot of work with Bet365, a massive ticket giveaway this Saturday, Tower Bridge. Can you just talk us through what's going to be happening, please?
Well, I'm going to be giving lots of tickets away. I think it's good. It's the biggest ever. 2,000 tickets, over 2,000 tickets so far. So it's great to be a part of that. You know, the global partners of UEFA Champions League. So yeah, it's a great. Come down, see me. You know, have some fun. It's online as well. So yeah, why not? I'm there. Hopefully, you know, be a good day out. And yeah, why not?
And wherever you go in London, there's always a lot of crazy gooners. So I imagine that you're going to be, I don't know, selfie ready, selfie sticks in the face, Instagram stories, everything. How excited are you to give away those tickets to the real football fans?
You know what? It's amazing because that's what it's all about. On these Champions Leagues kind of nights, it's just incredible. It just goes up to another level. People are just up for it. The noise level, the party going, kind of feeling about it. Everything, you know, it depends where you are. Sometimes firecrackers, or you know, you got to do it properly, and you know, you do get that. But everybody's up for it. It's great. It's an amazing feeling, and you can feel it. The energy in the atmosphere is just incredible. It's like electric. That's what it's all about. And then the players will feel that as well. Not only the fans, but the players as well.
So at the event, how can the fans that will be in attendance win the ticket giveaway for the Champions League games?
Well, it's like predictions. You know, you get 4 right, and then you can kind of, you know, then you can win. So they're using the Bet365 kind of way of doing it, and then if they get 4 right in the prediction, they can come up on stage and win something. It's great. It's lovely to be there. Even if they don't win anything, they can get on the stage, meet me, see the Champions League trophy. So you know that's another win anyway in itself. But yeah, that's how they kind of worked it out. So it's going to be a fun night.
Sounds like an Arsenal fan's dream, doesn't it?
It's all good. That's what it's all about. You know, it's fun, and there's a possibility of winning some great tickets.
This ticket giveaway at Bet365. I saw the one in Shoreditch a couple of months ago. It's quite literally something that I've never seen before in my entire life.
So I'm going to be really surprised then.
Trust me, Bet365 have got some unbelievable tricks up their sleeve. Let's go straight into the Champions League then. I mean, we could talk about memories, that Champions League final against Barcelona, but take the final out of the equation. What is one of your greatest memories that you've ever had in the competition?
I think for me, it was when we played Inter Milan away. You know, we had a great kind of game. They've never really lost too many games, and it was like a 5-1 at their place, and just amazing. I love the San Siro. Yeah. Beautiful stadium, steeped in history, and you feel it when you're there. It's like, you know, I'm not saying the Italian, like almost like a gladiator, but you feel the kind of history around you, and you want to be a part of that. You want to perform to your highest ability, and some players get it. Some players shrink away from those kind of moments. But it was an amazing performance by us, and I just loved the whole thing about, you know, playing those big nights, especially away sometimes, and you're kind of up against it a little bit, and you got to really pull out an amazing performance. And the thing is, like, the home crowd, when you come off, they say, you know what, that was a good performance. You know, I love my team, but Montebene performance. That was good. So that's what the feeling. You know, it's great. You never forget those nights.
It's the European crowds as well, though.
Yeah.
Like, English crowds can be great if you go to Anfield, the Emirates,
yeah.
Old Trafford. But I mean, when you see the Tifo at Dortmund, or you see it at the San Siro,
I've never played there, you know.
Sorry,
I've never played there.
You never played at Dortmund?
No, I'd love to, but I've never. Yeah, I've never played there.
But you think about those intimidating Champions League nights, and I mean, as a player, do you listen? Can you take in the noise, or are you just locked into everything that's happening on the pitch?
Do you know what? I think you use the elements, use the right elements, because obviously they're kind of they're shouting for their team and they're shouting against you to muck up or whatever. Who knows what they're trying to do? They're away fans. But you use elements of that kind of atmosphere to kind of gear yourself up and your team. And, you know, you've got to be focused, wired. You know, sometimes things are not happening and all of a sudden something can happen. So you've got to always be on your toes. I think Champions League can change like in an instant, and then you're on the back foot straight away for the whole game. So you've got to be careful. But you use that kind of that atmosphere for your benefit. The best players do that. They filter out the rubbish and they use the right bits to kind of, you know, spare them on in the right moments to keep them focused, get them ready to do the special. Always aware of the situations around them to kind of take advantage or be careful in other scenarios. So use that elements, use that environment to your best ability, and the best players do.
That Champions League final against Barcelona, I mean, I was only a young boy when that happened. I think I was about 10. You scored, and unbelievable goal it was. The expression on your face and how much it meant to you. Would you mark that as the greatest single moment of your professional career? I mean, you're an invincible, but it was so many emotions that were on your face when you scored.
I remember that season. That was quite a difficult season for me, and scoring that goal was just, I don't think people realise behind that goal was so much passion, you know, anxiety, hurt, glory, years of kind of understanding, being in football, losing, winning, you know, there's a lot behind that goal. Obviously, I would trade the goal in to win the Champions League. I'm that kind of person. I would rather win it than score a goal. But yeah, it's a special moment that will be with me forever. I mean, 10 minutes away, it is annoying, and we had some good chances to finish Barcelona up, even with 10 men. Yeah.
Well, we know Jens Lehmann was the man that got sent off. I think Samuel Eto'o did score the winner, and you mentioned it there, 10 minutes away. Do you ever think back and just go, we should have done this, or we should have acted in this way? Or for the great man that he was as a football manager, Arsene Wenger, could he have changed something on the field that day so it meant you got over the line? Does that replay in your head, just one thing or a multitude of different things? If you approached it differently after Lehmann went off, that you could have got over the line and won that Champions League? There's
a few things just running through my mind and running through clips of certain scenarios in the game. We had chances to finish them off. That's for the various players. But also there was a couple of scenarios that, you know, when Larson came on, he kind of changed the dynamic of the game. He got into different pockets. Not so much pockets to hurt you, but pockets to, you know, open up space and you know, allow maybe me to come out in the space that I've been protecting, and then not aware of like the players who are coming into my space and players aware. You know, that happened a couple of times. I was just slightly out of position because I was maybe following the player a little bit too much, but the players that were left in my space just weren't just aware of that. I kind of almost say, in one scenario, if Larson went out, I almost say, Larson, you go out to the edge of the box, I stay in the middle.
So it's almost like Henrik Larsson was brought in to run the channels and almost be like a menace to almost throw you off guard.
He just picked up different scenarios. He created different scenarios and he just moved into a position. I was quite comfortable, you know, in and around the middle, and I was controlling it, making sure that there's no gaps. And that's when that gap appeared, when he just slightly came out, the ball went inside, and especially for like the winner, I just came out to a slight position when I should have probably maybe allowed him to go out and just stay more middle, because maybe the players are so used to me being there, just lost the tracking of some of the third man runs. And what was his name? Is it Belletti? Yeah, he scores the winner. Yeah. If I'm there, he ain't doing that. He's not getting that space to score. You know, so it's almost, you know, it is what it is. We're splitting hairs. You know, we had enough chances to kill the game off.
Yeah.
I think 2-0 and they would have been gone. and then they just the last 10 minutes it just broke us down, and it's a shame. We're so close. Hopefully Arsenal can get to another final, but for us it was so close, and that's like it hurts more.
Can you watch it back?
No, I can't watch it back. No, I watched elements of it, but I can't watch the whole game. Maybe I should. I think if VAR was around, I think Eto's goal was offside for sure, slightly offside. There's elements that give and take, but the main thing, we had enough chances to kill them off.
How did you pick yourself back up from that though? Because Champions League final, as in club football, it's the greatest prize that you can arguably win. I mean, when a situation like that happens, Belletti scores, Eto also scores the first goal as well, Belletti gets the winner. That sinking feeling that you must feel when you've worked so hard to get where you are and you fall at the final hurdle. Did you find it hard to pick yourself back up after that Champions League final?
You do, because I'm 20. I think I'm 29, 30, something like that, 29, 30. If you're 21 and you get to the final, or a youngster, you say, "Oh, I know you're a good player. You got another, you got some, some bites of the cherries to win it." I'm thinking, I'm not going to be in this position again. Past this age, I'm not going to be, in the final again, and that kind of, it hits you as well. That'd have been a lovely cherry on the cake for me. That'd been amazing winning the Champions League final. But I kind of knew that I wasn't gonna get the opportunity to be in the final again.
It's all right for someone like Thierry, isn't it?
Yeah, you go to Barcelona, you go and win the treble.
Yeah, losing that final, then you go to Barcelona and win it. It makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, what an unbelievable player he was. When we think about Arsenal, we've not reached a Champions League final since then. They've reached the Europa League final in Baku, losing to Chelsea. Manchester City, 2 Champions League finals. Chelsea, 3 Champions League finals, winning 2 of them. Manchester United have been there at the same time as well. Liverpool have been there multiple times. What's the reason behind it? And you can say the Emirates, the new stadium. In your opinion, what is the reason why Arsenal haven't been at that level again? And they could still do that this season.
Yeah, there's possibility. We can't put a finger on it. We can't. I think the main thing is you just got to keep pushing, keep building the team, building the philosophy, getting in the right players who can, elevate the team to another level. And it will come. Being in and around this, they've got a good chance. Yes, they've got a big hurdle to go to negotiate with Real Madrid, but it's all possible over 2 games. It's all possible, but I can't put my finger on it because, building up a great team now. I think the next couple of years, even this year, there's possibility of getting to the final, as long as we keep everybody and don't lose anyone, and then implement and buy some really good players who can really move the team on another level and have that depth in squad. Competitions breed success, and I think the club should be comfortable with that, getting competition to breed success. I think that's key, really. You can have your 11 and the good old days of 11 or 13 players. I've not changed it, but I think now, with the amount of games and bringing that competitive kind of feel back into the squad, I think it's key, really. Keep everyone on their toes. It's healthy.
Is Mikel Arteta the right man to take him to the next level?
I think he's shown his capability. Where Arsenal were, they've moved up to another level. A couple of times came really close to winning the league. I think now, looking like they're doing a big spend in the summer. Let's see. Let's see him get. Obviously, everyone knows we need a main centre forward. That's key, and that's going to cost a bit. But then he's got to thicken up and get the quality around the pitch and also on the bench as well. It's key having top players on the bench and keep everyone satisfied. That's key as well. You can't just have 11 players. It can't exist like that anymore. Football's so frenetic now and so many games now. You can't just have 11 or 13 players. You got to have a good 18, 20 players who can come on and handle the season and are chomping at the bits to get in. You've got to have different ages as well, different, can't have all youngsters, can't have all, mid-aged ones. I think you have a nice mix. Everybody can utilise each other's qualities, and that's what it's all about. And once he gets that mix, I think then you kind of judge him. He needs obviously a bit more help up front. I think they're going to definitely, be clever about it and secure that area sooner or later. And I think then you'll see, Arsenal a bit more firepower and a little bit more, maybe goal in midfield sometimes, just in case if Odegaard's injured. You don't want to drop the level. I think the two youngsters have come in, they've been great. When Eri and Skelly's come in, they've been amazing, incredible players and futures. So, but you need more. You need a bit more to thicken it up to give you a chance.
It's kind of like what Manchester City had over the years. It was their depth.
You probably don't need.
The depth was absurd.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
But the money helped them to get that depth, and because when you look at it, if you've got that amount of players on the payroll, it becomes the economic kind of sense kicks in after a while. Arsenal just have to play clever. They've got to pay the money, get the right players in, get the squad. Lean but mean. Really. But don't kind of compromise on numbers. If you get a good player, get them in and keep them in there. I think that's key to find the balance.
Arsenal
and are finding the balance.
Arsenal versus Real Madrid then in the Champions League. I mean, what do you think about Real Madrid? Arguably, they are the greatest team in Champions League history. The squad they've still got, Carlo Ancelotti. It's like a new era, Galacticos at Real Madrid. Are you worried for Arsenal, especially Real Madrid going forward at the back in the midfield as well? Jude Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinicius. The list goes on. I could sit here all day naming great players of the past and present right now. Is there a fear that they go to the Bernabeu against the current holders of the Champions League and they could fold?
I don't think fold. I think you got to be wary and you got to respect the history that Real Madrid have, but then you don't allow it to shackle you down. You have to play your game. So you have to find the balance between that kind of understanding where you are, where you're at, and respecting that, but then also playing your game and not allowing the opposition to kind of dictate how you play. I think the main thing is, as long as they're brave but sensible, is key. It's over two legs. That's what it's all. It might even come down to penalties. Over two legs. Let's see what happens. I think at Emirates, they've got amazing kind of chance. I think Bernabeu is a difficult place to be at because.
Wait, do you think North London Forever is louder than anything the Bernabeu has to put up?
It's going to be special. I mean, you probably could have sold the game out twice over. It's going to be a special game, but the guys got to make sure that the occasion doesn't run away and they lose sight of what they're there for. Yes, enjoy it. Be there. That's what it's all about, and enjoy those amazing nights. But don't forget what you're there for, and don't forget, you're there to play football. You're there to play, your game and be the best version of yourself. So that's the thing, really, and be a team. If
you were in that back line, you're thinking about, let's pick the centre halves, for instance, Gabriel and Saliba. Yeah. And I mentioned the players that they're going to be coming up against: Vinicius, Bellingham, Mbappe. How would you deal with them? How would you prepare for a matchup just like that? Because they're some of the best forwards in the world.
I think with, when you got Vinicius Junior, how he moves, incredibly quick, left, right. I think the main thing is you've got to have a situation that you've got to set your stall out, but know that it's going to change. And they're going to change, and they're going to change. So, you can set your stall out. It's good to have a platform. It's great. You have a platform at the beginning of the game, but you have to be individually kind of know that there's going to be moments that you've got to stand up for yourself. And I think the guys have done a lot. They've shown a credible kind of maturity over this season, and even last season, really. And if someone gets into trouble, back them up. Don't leave someone on their own for too long. That's what I always say.
Which is where the leaders come to life for Arsenal, because we look at Jude Bellingham and how young he is. Yeah. he could be in line to be the next England captain. It's either going to be probably him or Declan Rice. So is that the game where Arsenal really need to wear their heart on their sleeve, where everyone comes out to play? And we know that Declan Rice, Saliba and Gabriel are leaders, but everyone pulls together when you're at somewhere like the Bernabeu.
I think we've got to have, obviously respect that Mbappe is not playing at the best we've seen him, say at PSG. That might be a blessing in disguise, because I think next season, once he gets into Real Madrid, it'll be coming for you. But you cannot neglect a superstar like that and think he's going to have an off night. You've got to think he's going to have an amazing night, and I've got to have an amazing night to kind of silence him and do everything I need to do and work as a team. So that's what it's going to come down to. The team play, the individual mistakes, either team, who pays for what, who takes advantage, who's brave, who sees, who's that special kind of skill to kind of open up and make your own luck in the game as well. Something comes off a foot or a bar, be ready, to tap it in, be ready to kick it out or whatever. Things like that, making the right decisions at the right time. And sometimes when you need to play simple, play simple. A really good pass sometimes is the best thing to do.
You played with some absolutely unbelievable central midfielders at the same time as well. You can think of Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard, especially for England. When you watch someone like Jude Bellingham, and I mean, their careers that they had were unbelievable, and Jude Bellingham has already kicked off with La Ligas, Champions Leagues. He's been in a Euros final. How far do you think he is from reaching the heights of those three that I just named?
To be honest, I think he's kind of, other than putting loads of goals on it, like say Lampard, he's kind of almost there now, really, as a youngster. He's done everything, almost 3, 4, maybe bar Scholesy, he's kind of done it, at least 2, 3 years before some of the other guys got to that level. Yes, he's at the biggest club in the world, and it does help. But then he had to travel. He's from Birmingham. Gone out to Dortmund, done incredibly well. Made some really good choices, and stayed Europe, main Europe side-wise, and he's gone to Real Madrid, and then he's kicked on. And he scored his first season. He was scoring tons of goals. It slowed down a little bit, but he's still knocking them in and still contributing, and he's and that's kind of filtering into England now as well. But he's done a lot already, and learn a new language and things like that. Now 2 languages, German and now Spanish. Sorry. So you've got all that going on, and maturity he has to do that. He's very, he's a clever guy, clever young man. Got good people around him. He's there already. He's there already. Okay, maybe he's going to be behind Lampard when it comes to goals, but you never know. But let's see what happens in the future when it comes. Let's see when he's 30 and see how many goals he's collected. But he's kind of there, really.
So to finish off this interview that we're doing right now, I've got 2 questions. Firstly, when are Arsenal winning the Champions League? Put a year on it. I know that's hard. And secondly,
I bet.
Who is
I'm
winning?
Bet.
Who is winning the Champions League in Munich this year?
God. I think Arsenal's got a good chance next season. I think if they get the right players in offensive-wise, I think they've got a good chance. And then keep everyone else. I think PSG's got a good chance. The way they played against Liverpool over the 2 games, they seem to have grown without Mbappe. It's almost they've kind of Mbappe was Mbappe had to leave to go to his kind of go on his journey.
It was all set in stone, was it? It's always going to happen.
And for PSG, I felt they've kind of galvanised a little bit more. Still quality players. Yeah. Even Dembele, he's playing incredible.
Yeah, he was sensational in the 2 games against Liverpool.
He's got allowed to transfer into international football, but he's just playing. He's just knocking them in and banging them in, and just he's there now. It's incredible season he's having. But PSG have got a really good chance of getting to the final.
Perfect. Sol, thank you very much.